This occurred the summer of 2015 when I was over my girlfriend's house. Now, we would always opt to go over her house whenever we hung out because her house is relatively larger than mine. Anyways, I decided that I had enough for the night and went into her room to lay down. As I got in her bed, I made a conscious decision to sleep on top of her covers because it could get pretty hot in her room, especially considering the fact that it was the summer and not winter. As I was nodding off, I could hear my girlfriend, we'll call her Shirley, get into the covers. I didn't care to open my eyes as I was already half asleep at that point. Right as I was about to fall asleep, I heard a light tapping sound, like if someone were to flick a pen on a desk or a table. I ignored it and went to sleep not long after. I woke up to the same tapping sound, only this time it was louder. Following the sound, I felt a sharp object graze up and down my pant leg. In front of me and at the edge of the bed was a dark silhouette of a person. Thinking it was just Shirley, I told her to knock it off so I could get back to sleep since I had work the next morning and wanted to be well rested. What happened next will forever haunt my nightmares. A person turns over in the bed right next to me and says in a groggy voice, "What?" It didn't take me long to realize that the person right next to me was Shirley. That's when the figure across from me leans in towards my face. It was a grown man, probably in his mid to late 50s. His hair was gray and shaggy, and his teeth were crooked and yellow. The man presses a 12-inch knife against my scalp. With his reeking breath, he says, "If you move, I'll stab you in the fucking forehead until your hairline looks like Shah EK's." In that instance, I didn't know what to do. My entire body was frozen in fear. I felt like pissing myself. By the grace of God, Shirley smacks the man with one of her angel soft pillows and knocks the guy clean out. That brought us to the time we needed to haul ass out of her room to the neighbor's house and call the police. The cops got there within 5 minutes, given Shirley lives in the suburbs, but it felt like 5 hours of waiting. The cops went into the house, but the man was long gone. Let's just say that both Shirley and I go to my house whenever we decide to hang out. I had just finished one of the most intense night shifts at the pizzeria I had ever worked. It was actually the reason why I missed my bus and had to wait another 30 minutes for the next one to arrive. Needless to say, I was pissed. I was covered head to toe in flour, and the cold January air didn't make me much more comfortable. I decided to walk around a little bit to warm up my body. It wasn't like I didn't have to wait for a half an hour for the next bus anyways. As I was walking, I noticed a figure from across the street. The figure was that of a person, relatively short, but walked with a lot of effort. I thought nothing of it at first, until I got closer. I could now make the figure out to be a man, probably 5'5". There was something uncanny about the way he walked. His shoulders were raised in a constant shrug, and he took a large, exaggerated step out with his right leg and then did the same with his left leg. I thought to myself that everything would be okay if I just passed the man quickly, as he was officially beginning to creep me out. Before we could pass each other, though, the man perked up and was now looking in my direction. Despite it being cold outside already, I felt my body begin to freeze in fear. The man then raises his right arm and pulls out what looked like his middle finger. This wouldn't have been as bizarre if it weren't for the rest of his fingers being completely closed. Needless to say, I got the hell out of there and took an Uber home. Later that night, as I laid in my bed, I heard the sound of a pebble hitting my bedroom window. I got up and raised my curtains. I expected to see the man sitting in my front yard, holding his middle finger up, but I didn't. I recently quit my job at the pizzeria, and I'm working at a strip club. I like to think that the two events weren't connected in any way, but a part of me knows better. I was sitting home alone playing New Super Mario Bros. On my Nintendo Wii U. Both my parents left me home alone to go swinging, which didn't really make much sense. What kind of playground is open at 10 o'clock at night? Anyways, I had just gotten into the sand world, and I remember this clearly because it was about the same time that I realized I would be a 30-year-old virgin. Right as I pressed A on my gamepad to start the new level, I heard a knock at my window. As soon as the new level loaded, I paused the game and did some investigating. Right as I was about to take a peek through the curtains, another pair of knocks hit my window. This actually hurt my ears and freaked me out. It was the same kind of fear I felt when talking to any person of the opposite sex as me. Wanting to conquer this fear, I quickly lifted the window up and yelled into the outdoors. There was no one. Quickly losing all the confidence I once had, I quickly shut my window and took my Wii U gamepad. It was there that I shut myself behind my closet door and played my game. An hour had passed, and I didn't hear any knocking, so I went back out into my room and continued my game on the television screen. I had just landed into the snow world and booted up a level. When the screen went to the black in the midst of the transition, that's when I saw it. In the reflection of my television, I saw a person standing behind me. Their legs were abnormally skinny, and they were seemingly so tall that the bottom of their waist didn't even make it into the television screen. When my level booted up, I heard the pair of aggressive knocks on my window yet again. Between the figure standing behind me and the knocks on my window, I couldn't move at all. I was completely frozen in fear. I was so in fear of my life, in fact, that I fainted. I woke up to my parents standing over me. They smelled like a mix of vinegar and a muggy day outside. I told them exactly what happened, but they laughed it off and told me to get some rest. I know for a fact that what I experienced wasn't a dream, but it was probably something paranormal.